What's going on, guys? King Shrats here, back with another video on the channel. And today we took it to one of my favorite places I used to eat at all the time back in my younger partying days. It was known as a popular late night establishment for people who had been partying. That's all. I'll leave it at that. But it is Banana King. It is a delicious Latin American type of fast food chain. There's only, I think they're up to like, I want to say like 5 or 6 or maybe more. They just built one near me, and they used to just be in certain places that you probably wouldn't want to travel to unless you are from those places. But we move, I did it anyway. Banana King is really good. I got some extra mustard over here. It's one of my favorite mustards. Let me throw this to the side. But let me give you a quick rundown of what we got. We've got Salchipapa, which is basically fries, and usually a lot of places will serve it with hot dogs. Now these look like a lot bigger of a kind of a hot dog, so I'm not sure what kind it is. I won't know until I taste it. But then it's got different sauces, mayo, ketchup on top of fries. It sounds crazy. Very popular in South America. Peru, I used to get it from a Peruvian joint all the time. A Hawaiian hot dog, they added pineapple. Pineapple doesn't really necessitate Hawaiian stuff, but they added pineapple to it. Of course, the matchstick fries, which are very common, again, in South American style of hot dogs. Mustard, ketchup, there's mozzarella cheese under there, which I guess is not really how you're supposed to say when you have Banana King. Of course, the matchstick potatoes, as I said, pineapple sauce, the house-made sauce, which is all very good on a foot-long pork sausage. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. I've got a chicken burger I got with bacon, mozzarella, and the house sauce. I don't eat lettuce, tomatoes, and onions. That normally comes in there too. And lastly, I got an arepa, like cornbread, but they put it on the skillet. This one's filled with pernil, which is like a grilled pork with onions on there as well. I don't get the lettuce and tomato, and the house sauce. And lastly, I've got one empanada. It is a beef empanada. I wanted to get more, but if you check the channel, we went crazy on Thanksgiving. So I'm still trying to be good when it comes to that, as well as what they started with, which were smoothies, but I got a chocolate smoothie because I'm not really a fruit guy. A lot of people do like their fruit ones too as well, but I didn't want to do that. But without further ado, let's get into it. I don't know where to start because everything looks so good, but you know what? I haven't had Salchipapa in like forever, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. Look at the sauce on here, and I can smell it. Like the flavor just looks crazy. Look at that. Let's see what kind of sausage. I think it's the same pork sausage, but oh man, let me wipe my mouth. That was terrible. But that is really good. Sausages are creamy. The mayo, the house sauce, which I taste some cilantro in there. And then you get that nice pork fatty sausage. And those salty, the fries aren't really salty, but you can tell they twice fried them. So they got a nice crunch to the outside, but the insides are still soft. Super good, man. I haven't had these in forever. Honestly, I think they're better than when I had them the first time. Oh, we gonna do this. Look at this. It's just one of those things, like, it started as street food. I have some friends that are Peruvian, and they would always tell me about it, but I never actually got to try it until I got older. And then when I found out Banana King was actually doing fast food like this, I had to go. I'm taking that one right there. We just cleaned this table. That is a good opening salvo, for sure. But I really want to try everything, so I don't know where. Let's go with the hot dog. Now, don't start with the glizzy comments, all right? First of all, this is a really big hot dog. I don't care what you say. I can smell the pineapple sauce on there right away, and the matchstick potatoes. Usually the potatoes go on the bottom so that the sauce gets into it, but I've never seen it done this way. Not that it matters. I'm sure it's still going to taste the same, but I feel like the fries are falling all over the place. Usually they cover the top with the condiments, but hey, we move. Look at this. Salty pork sausage, sweet pineapple, creamy mayo, get a little bit of hint of that mustard, and then salty again potatoes. So it's like just layers and layers of flavor. I've always been a huge fan of these, and the biggest reason is because I love when things have like a lot of different flavors to them. To me, it's almost like a band or a symphony where, you've got the violins and you've got the guitar and the piano and all the different things, and it comes together to make something just even more beautiful. Even though they sound good by themselves, And that's the way I look at food. So you'll always see me eating loaded pizzas, things with crazy amount of condiments on them. I don't know what somebody's gonna say. That pineapple sauce is out of bounds. Look how thick that sausage is too. And the crunchy potatoes just adds a whole different element of texture to it. I have to admit, this is even better than I remember. Usually it takes a while for like restaurants to find their stride. And I think they did. Also, there's not as many fights as there used to be at Banana King. I might get into those stories later. You can really see it right here. That pineapple sauce is right in the middle on top of the sausage. And I love pineapple. It just adds like that sweet to that salty. One of my favorite food combos. You really get it there, look. Right there on the top. Man. This just is different. Especially since I haven't eaten in 2 days. That's wild. See, I got all these fries right here. They fell on my table. And that's what I was saying before. That's my only real gripe about it. But other than that, very good. Empanadas, if you don't know what an empanada is, think dumpling, but they fry them, or you can actually, nah, you only fry them in my book. I don't want to hear about anything else. But this one has beef in it, I believe. Nice crunchy outside. I'm almost getting like a beef and potato, but well seasoned. And you can see there's a ton of filling in there too. Wow. I know there's a bunch of you, if you're from my area, that have been there. Tell me what your favorite order is. I used to always get the Salchipapa, or a hot dog, or just like in a shake. There's nothing crazy. But I wasn't eating a lot back then. But that was my thing back then. Sometimes I get the empanadas. The pan de queso, it means cheese bread, is really literally what it is. It don't even need a sauce, nothing to it. You hear that crunch too? It's got enough bite to it to hold that batter. Or should I say the filling, which is very creamy. I think these beef ones have potato. They definitely do, because I can get one right there. But it adds a nice little texture change to it. I actually got like 9 of these. Maybe we'll have to do like a whole empanada mukbang. There's some empanada joints around me too. So, stay tuned for that. I gotta get into this arepa. I always think about arepas. I tried them when I was much younger, and it's funny. There's a Venezuelan baseball player named Miguel Cabrera. Very good player. He always had issues. This is a true story too. He always had issues with his weight because he would go home to Venezuela in the off season and he would just load up on arepas. And I know that feeling because when I used to come back to Jersey, I started getting disco fries and stuff when I was on break from college. And I'd come back a little thick boy, but you know, a few pounds knock it right off right away. But there it is right there in all the splendor. Let me open this up for you a little bit. So you see the pernil in there. Most of my Hispanic friends on holidays, I didn't get to do it this year, obviously with all the things going on, they would eat pernil with their meal. It wouldn't be turkey, it would be like a pile of pernil, and I would just, when they were done, because I would come like after, obviously I eat my family first, and they would be like, you gotta get the pernil, and I would just eat like a whole plate of pernil and rice and beans. That's all I ate the whole time. But let me get into this. Let me see if they do that pernil right. Ooh, yeah, no, they seasoned it up. It's got a nice bark to it. Salty, oh man. Good choice. Then you get that sweet from the cornbread. I'm gonna see it's not like, try to see if I can explain to you what it is. It's like a dough almost, but it's made like a cornbread. And you put it on the griddle. So it's super soft. And you can see from the side profile, the inside got a little sweetness to it. So when you top that off with this delicious grilled pork, which you can see the bark on the pork too. which is very, very, that's the yum yums. That's what I call it. It's got a little crunch to it and just adds that flavor. That's good. I've never had a Pernil arepa. I've always had like chicken. I've done like pork shoulder, which is a little different. Pork leg. And I even did like a cheese one, which were really good too. I just melt the cheese and it's, oh. That was the original one that I got because that was Miguel Cabrera's favorite. I really liked him, a baseball player. You know, so I was like, maybe if I eat it, you know. I did that in high school too when I found out a lot of Dominican players, the good ones, like Robinson Cano, like Ortiz, they had this thing like plátano power. So I started eating like mangú before. Mangú is like mashed plátanos, and it's similar to like mashed potatoes in texture, but it's a lot thicker. It's heavy, but it's seasoned differently. Like if like yams and mashed potatoes had a kid with that sweet potato, the sweet potato from the yams, but it's a little different. So it's like right in the middle. But one of my teammates was Dominican, and he was like, yo, I got some mangú for you. I'm in there with the pickled red onions and the salami. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. That is super good. The pernil itself, you can eat that on anything. I wonder if they do like pernil sandwiches, because that would be dope too. Or even just like that on some rice. On rice and beans. And this is the chocolate shake. They're known for their shakes. I never got the chocolate. I always used to get like strawberry, and I break out in hives because I'm semi-allergic to strawberries, but I didn't care. Okay. It's not a thick shake at all. It tastes more like a chocolate milk, a little thicker. If you don't know, I love chocolate milk anyway, but that's where the shake comes in. And of course, I had to get the grilled chicken. I always like the grilled chicken. It's just seasoned and grilled right. See the sauce, the house sauce on there too. I got bacon, a little bit of that melted cheese. I believe it's mozzarella, again. Mozzarella. I didn't put any sauce on it other than that. That's why I got that garlic aioli mustard from Walmart. It's super good. This one right here. So if you're in Walmart, if you like different kinds of mustard, a lot of people like the Cuban mustard too. It's got like, man, I'm just taking L's. Here, come down here and chill. It's got like pickles and stuff in it, so I won't eat it. But the chipotle and the garlic one are like ridiculous. Anyway, me scusi. All right, let's dig in. I've always liked the grilled chicken because they don't try to outdo themselves. The chicken itself is seasoned right, and it's not dry. And then you add that mozzarella, a little bit of that house sauce, and I'm gonna throw a little bit of mustard on here because I know it's gonna take it next level when I get that tang from that mustard with the bacon. I'm telling you, you guys have to try the garlic aioli mustard. It is ridiculous. Get in here. See it right there? You see it. All right, that's my bite. That's the one. See all the cheese in there too? Right here on the bottom. This is good eats, man. You get any one of these and you'd probably be full. Everything's very heavy. But y'all know me. When I was in my early 20s, Banana King was the spot. But you had to like time it right, because the Banana Kings where I grew up, for lack of better words, like they were in the hood in the beginning. They're starting to expand. Like the one that I went to today is in Elmwood Park, which isn't like, you know, that bad and comparatively to like the Pattersons or Passaic-my area. And I went probably like 10 times or so. And I swear to you, I've never gone there without seeing the fight. Like ever. It's a fight every time. But it was so good you had to risk it all. They were also open really, really late, which most places aren't. You know, so if you wanted something like this, you had to risk it. I can't really talk about the details of some of the fights I've seen, but there were some pretty bad ones. I'll just leave it at that. They were pretty bad. One thing I will say is I saw someone once, the fight ended up in the back of the store. Like, I mean, like in the kitchen. You know, this is a long time ago. And someone may or may not have been hit by a blender. So I had to stop going because I'm not trying to get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? Like, I try to keep my head out of that kind of stuff. But this one opened up like in the beginning of the year. And then obviously with the restrictions and stuff, they had to shut down for a little bit. And then I knew I was going to go back once we started to like get into this. But today, I was like, yo, they got a delivery truck, car, let's do this. So I had to. And they definitely do it right. I've always been a fan of food like this. It's almost like street food down there. You know, you serve it in almost something that looks like this, and you get, you know, usually very cheap. So they took that and they flared it up a little bit. And one of the things that I always will say is if you go anywhere that's ethnic, you know, like whether it's a soul food spot, you know, Chinese restaurant, you know, Spanish, Latin American, things like this. Every time I go past there or go in there, most of the people in there are Hispanic, and that's a good sign. It's not like, you know, stereotyping it. It's more, if you grew up eating this stuff, you're a much harsher critic. So you see, if you go in a soul food place, or for example, I went to the Jamaican place like a little while back, and when I walked in, all I saw for the most part were West Indian people. I walked in, having eaten a ton of West Indian food in my life, and immediately I smelled it. I'm like, yeah, this is it. The dude in front of me was Jamaican. There was an Indian guy behind me. A lot of Indians do like West Indian food too. And believe it or not, one of my dad's closest friends is Jamaican. But if you saw him, a lot of people think he's Indian. He's 100% Jamaican. He was born there. So there are some people that did that too because, little history lesson here. Jamaica at one point was an English colony, which is why a lot of people there, even the Jamaicans, have very anglicized last names like Smith, Campbell, you know, Jones, Jenkins. You see a lot of that in Jamaica. So there are a lot of people only think of Jamaica, they think of dreadlocks, you know, and black people, which of course there's a heavy concentration of them, but you'd be surprised, because I've been in Jamaica a bunch of times, that you see people that look like they're Asian, white people, you know, again, like Indian people, but when you talk to them, they got the heavy Jamaican accent too. I mean, you know, if you walk on and I'm like, oh, wow. And I didn't expect that. The first time I went was on a cruise. Okay, that was the second time. The first time I went was just on a visit. We went to Ocho Rios, which is another place in Jamaica. We didn't go to Kingston first time. But we stayed on the resort the first time. And our tour guide on the resort was like a Chinese guy. Again, racially. Nationality-wise, he was Jamaican. So we get off, we get out of the hotel, boom, 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 knocks on the door because he's going to take us for like some sightseeing and stuff because that's what part of like the inclusion in the service. And man opens the door. He got a bucket hat on. He cool. And he's like, welcome to Jamaica. And I had to do a double take because I didn't know at that point. But you'd be surprised what you see with that kind of stuff. It's just because of colonization over all of the years. Which is why, you know, certain countries speak certain languages. You know, like in Haiti, they speak not just French, but it's French derived. And in Dominican Republic, they speak Spanish. You know, I'm not going too much into the history lesson, but you have to understand that stuff. I was a history major for the first 2 years of college. So that's the reason we speak English in the United States. Because of colonization and so on. Now, in India, they speak English. A lot of them speak English too, because of the same reason. At one point, India was a British colony, and so on. So what you get with food is things like this, where you get Salchipapa. A lot of Peruvian food has soy sauce in it because there's a lot of Japanese people that live in Peru, which I love, because like if you make lomo, like in the ingredients that from traditionally, like there's soy sauce in it. And even the stir fry aspect of it comes from that. There's a lot more potatoes and stuff down there, so you have to adapt. But that's kind of where like the food, look at this piece of pineapple on here. That's kind of where the food aspect comes from. You know, we eat hot dogs in America, but that was from Germany. That came here. And so on. So I love that kind of stuff about food. And it's a big reason why I like this kind of like the stir fries, and because I know fusion food, which we're very popular for in the US here. So some of the stuff they will Americanize, but for the most part, that's what you get. I gotta get more bite of this. So good. I love Pernil. I'm at Dominicanos. You know I used to go eat at your houses back in high school. One of my teammates was Dominican. I used to just raid everybody's houses, you know. Or people I hung out with in high school. Obviously my best friend was Sicilian. After that, one of my closest friends was Trinidadian, which is very similar in culture. Not exactly the same, like don't tell them that. But the similar in culture with Jamaicans and West, so we vibed. You know what I mean? Like I vibed. His mom would cook, and I knew what she was making. You know, we ate a lot of the same stuff, and so on. You know, I had a Dominican teammate, same thing, coolest dude ever. He would come, and you gotta get the Pernil. He told me about Pernil for like 2 months before Thanksgiving. He's like, you coming? Because you know, that was the vibe. So, Banana King aspect, you know, it brings me in that same thing. There's no authentic or inauthentic, which people love to say. It's about influence and making different stuff. Yeah, I went to a Mexican restaurant and they make chicken wings, like, but the sauce almost was like a mole sauce. You know what I'm saying? So that's the fusion aspect. Tex-Mex is extremely popular in the US, and that is exactly what it is. It's a fusion. You know, in sushi restaurants, they're making sushi rolls with, you know, fried chicken in them and things of that nature. So they don't really combine that kind of stuff. The rolls we eat here, they don't really eat in Japan. But I'm going way too off on a different thing. But I just wanted to check in, vibe with y'all for a little bit. I did read a lot of your comments on the eating challenge that I did with the McDonald's breakfast. And then I read more on the Thanksgiving dinner one. And a lot of you preferred the real-time videos. So I hear you loud and clear. So from here on out, the eating challenges will be done in real time. That was you guys that picked that, and I have no issue with that because it makes me, excuse me, sorry for burping, you know I hate that. It makes my life a lot easier because I don't have to edit. When I do things in real time, I just post it, you know what I mean? I might have to splice in some shots of the food and stuff like that, but much easier to edit. That takes me like 20 to 30 minutes to edit and upload, whereas the eating challenges usually take me hours to do. So I don't mind it at all. And since you guys don't mind it and you guys prefer it because you want to hear my ridiculousness I'm speaking, and mukbangs are kind of like my background, it's better to combine two in the world. So that's what we're going to do from here on out. So my spicy challenges aren't edited. My mukbangs aren't edited. So now my eating challenges will also not be edited. The watch time on both of those videos were extremely high, so it shows me that you guys actually did enjoy the content. Therefore, from here on out, unedited. But that's gonna be it for today. I'm probably gonna finish this shake for sure, and the Pernil. Pretty much everything, actually. Not gonna lie. There's my man Darth. Can't be a video without Darth smacking me in the head. One day we'll have a new setup, and Darth will stay in his place, because the Joker smacked me so hard. I had a Joker painting before that it fell on my head, and the frame cracked. So I have to get a new frame. So that's why you see Darth here and not the Joker, but I'll have both eventually as we move forward and do a new setup, which I'm already working on getting some stuff for a new setup. You guys know I have my studio I use for personal training. Well, it has a back office, and we just opened up a second studio. Yes, a second studio in a month. So that studio I will be working at predominantly by myself, whereas my business partner was there before. So now, since it's basically mine and his is his, I can kind of retrofit it so I can have two different places to film, not just here, but at home. And the room there is just a little bit brighter. and I can do a little bit more to it. So as I get more tables and stuff, I need a bigger table, but I'm just telling you where we're going with the channel. But thank you guys so much for watching. Yes sir, we'll be back tomorrow, more content. I got something crazy that I'm going back in the kitchen and I'm gonna make. I know people like this kind of meal, so make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notifications and all that good stuff. You guys, your support has been unreal. I can't believe how much this channel has grown in the last month or two. I had like 1,000 subscribers like in October. So thank you all so much. I'm glad you're enjoying the content and I'm enjoying making it. So we will be back tomorrow, more content. I love you. Nah, I gotta say it. It's never leaving. The hand signs, they made it to YouTube and they're here to stay.